through the S as he goes.
You'd be pulling those belts tight when you come into turn one. Go, all right, here we go, send it.
So he does. Danny Siama trying to do the same thing, trying to send it here. The number 15 on the 48 of Vollebrecht. Tony started out of P4. He's gone back to 5th, but Danny Siama started off rear of grid, and he has made his way up to P6 at the moment. So that's a great drive. Gee, we've had some great drives from rear of field over this weekend. Really good racing right across the board.
I mean, that's what Winton brings, right? You know, it's the track that, it's the action track, isn't it?
Well, and it throws up the randomness,
Yeah.
doesn't it? It really does. You've got to have a car that can get power down firstly. That's the main thing here at Winton. You've got to get power down. But then you've also got to be able to change direction.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Horsepower doesn't give you automatic rights here, and
It's nice. If you can get the power down with lots of horsepower, then you're home and hosed here. But that's a juxtaposition in itself at Winton.
absolutely. So Danny just getting a little bit of drifting going on there. It's great to see modern versus classic in this style. You know, a modern MG versus a classic MG. One's a V8, one's a 4-cylinder, one's small, one's a bit bigger, front wheel drive. Modern brakes versus classic brakes, just whole different way to achieve lap time, but so similar. Tony's car won't have that knockoff as you go into the race. It won't lose as much out of its tyres, won't overheat its brakes as quick as Danny's car. So if Tony can hold on for a few more laps, he's probably going to end up being able to pull a bit of a gap. But I can tell you, Danny drives that car like it's a bucking Bronco, so he will be fighting that car to the death.
He is absolutely having a red-hot go at it. It really is a great snapshot of how the automotive world has matured, isn't it? You need half the amount of pistons, you can drive it through the front wheels,
Yep.
and you can get the job done. Fairly similar lap times at the moment. But the number 15 gives the roar, and he looks to the inside now.
Small little error by Tony into turn one, just brought Danny back into the game a little bit here. So I think he had probably a better last lap, but that little bit of a gap, just that little mistake into one, just brought Danny back into it. You only have to give Danny a sniff and he'll be all over it. So we come up to the back of the track. This is where Danny will always be a little bit under tired around here for the change of direction compared to Tony's car. So Tony's just got to play the straight game. So we see Gordon Bunyan pulling off on the run to turn 3, unfortunately. So he and Greg White will. So
Yeah, right out the front of the old pit straight there, pit building, pit bay there.
Not sure
is
what's
where
happened
he's
there.
gone. He's just sort of come in the out lane, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. So hopefully not too terminal, but he is out of this one. That'll give Greg White a little bit of relief after he was telling me that it was like having a terrier. He's now got a few laps of ease.
This battle would be interesting at the next round at Phillip Island on the 27th and 28th of May. Up the inside, Danny sends it, tries to grab the spot, but Vollebrecht just holds him off. Great bit of racing here from these two. I'm going to suggest that maybe the number 15 at the long, wide open expanses at Phillip Island might just find an advantage. That
Yeah.
capacity advantage would come to the fore. He's got the inside running for turn one now. It tunnels in, it funnels in, not tunnels in, and gets the job done for the moment. But Vollebrecht is still flowing that front wheel drive car nicely. You get the feeling, Paul, you mentioned. Danny is definitely hustling this thing.
Yeah, that looks like a bucking Bronco right now. That is moving around on him a lot, but driving it very well. But on the ragged edge, you can tell to achieve that. So we'll see if he can make a bit of a gap on Tony. This might actually be something Tony can run with him, and as this race counts down, he might be able to have another little bit of a dip. Definitely, you would imagine getting a bit of fresh air into those classic tyres and classic brakes will definitely help over the long length of this race versus sitting there tucked in behind. There's a little bit of lock up by Tony, and that'll be the difference between Tony getting to his normal braking marker and a classic car that's just starting to get a bit of a long brake pedal.
Yeah, certainly pinched it up there. Tyres protesting on trying to change direction as well. The 48 getting on with it now. Have a look at this. Side by side, but the V8 just extends its capacity, and a bit of a switch back to the inside there. Danny didn't see that coming, did he? Or he allowed it to happen around him. Something like that, get on there. All the club's details are on there that promote these events. We go to Motorsport Australia and get involved as well. As we look back now, this is still the battle that is just out, or just, I guess, going for the top 5. At the moment, it's Tony Vollebrecht who's got it over Danny Siama, and that's switched around. So we're getting deeper into this race. 5.5 minutes left to go. So we've had 20 minutes of battling, and just off the back of camera there, we saw Phil Chester going through. Last time round, a 141.2. That is not what we want to see out of the Monty Power car.
I think he's ready for
easing out of it. It's ready for Smoko. Either that or he's getting his mind right for one lunge at the lap record.
Imagine just doesn't work, but absolutely loving coming over to Victoria and having a ball. Brings his mates, they make a road trip, have a great weekend away.
Bruce Condren now, he's gone to pit lane in car number 5.
Hey,
Ooh, keep it off. Yeah. Well, that's good. You just got to dust it off, don't you, after that? That's spinning around there with solid objects
he
around.
might be a bit dizzy too, I reckon, after that.
That'll throw it up to you. Puts the fire back in the belly, and the Urban DC gets back underway.